Cyberpunk 2077 is the gift that keeps on giving. We got a brand new update for the game that just went live. Yes, we got a new update to the game just when we thought the support would be ending. CDPR once again comes in clutch and releases a ton of new features. So today we're going to take a look at update 2.2. We're going to go over all of the patch notes and just everything that you guys should know. What new features did 2.2 add and so much more. We have a lot to cover, so check the video chapters for easy viewing and let's get into it. So yeah, update 2.2 is now live for Cyberpunk 2077. It's on PC, PS5, and of course the Xbox Series consoles. And with this patch, you'll be able to customize yourself like never before. It includes over 100 new customization options for V, and adds the crystal coat compatibility for select vehicle brands. And it also introduced a brand new twin tone color scheme feature for crystal coat compatible vehicles and more. They also announced a major update for photo mode with a ton of new features we'll get into in just a bit. So for the new features in the update, obviously we have Rayfield's crystal coat that we just talked about. It was initially designed for Rayfield vehicles only and has now been adopted by other car manufacturers like the Herrera, the Mizutani, and the Quadra and the Vilfort vehicles. They also gave us a pro tip: use the crystal coat to fool the cops and lower your NCPD wanted level. The next feature, Kiroshi presents the twin tone. As a crystal coat continues to gain popularity, twin tone takes her paint job to the next level. So you just have to scan a car with your Kiroshi optic and then switch to the twin tone tab, then save the vehicle's color scheme for a small fee. You'll then be able to select the scheme in the twin tone database under the crystal coat menu. From there, you'll be able to find generic color schemes for the crystal coat compatible vehicles, as well as unique color schemes that are exclusive to the vehicle model from which they were copied. CDPR then noted that the color scheme cloning is not authorized on vehicles that are linked to quests belonging to the NCPD or that are incompatible with the crystal coat tech. Now, another note is all vehicles compatible with crystal coat and twin tone are marked with a spray can icon on AutoFixer. Next up, they said the 10 most requested vehicles from the streets of Night City are now available for purchase on AutoFixer. Those 10 vehicles can be found on the screen right here. So a solid addition to the game. Now next up, following Act 1, Johnny will now sometimes appear in the passenger seat while V is driving to comment on and react to what's happening, which is yet another update to improve the overall immersion in this world. A game that's already insanely immersive is just getting better, and I just love seeing that. I believe this was also a mod as well, which is I'm sure where CDPR got the inspiration. So shout out to that mod author for making this happen. Next up, there was a massive overhaul to the photo mode, and they also added a ton of community requested features. For instance, the drone camera is now a free camera instead of an orbital camera centered around V. They increased the camera range. They added a full collision on or off, which determines whether the camera respects in-game objects or collisions. They added a lock camera on and off, which locks the camera to avoid misclicking and ruining the frame. For those of you that have spent time in the Cyberpunk 2077 photo mode, you know that this is one of the biggest and most frustrating aspects of it. So the fact they made it so you could lock the camera is pretty cool. Next up, we have the precision camera, which is an on and off slider, which slows the camera down for easier aiming. Next up, we have the aspect ratio, which is PC only. So if you want to do a screenshot that's other than 16:9, possibly like a 32:9 or whatever, then you're able to do that, but that is a PC only feature. It then clarified the console systems can only export images in the standard 16:9 format. Next up, for the photo mode, they added a cameras tab feature, and you could spawn up to 3 NPCs for your photo. From a list of over 20 characters to choose from, you can adjust their expression, their pose, and their positioning. And then we have some updates to the lighting tab. The spawn and adjust light sources have been updated. They fixed the depth of field ghosting issue and added an effect intensity slider. And then for the last thing, for photos and I guess frames, they added smart frames by Kiroshi, which allows you to display your photo mode shots in-game by interacting with your picture frames in V's apartment. Browse your photo collection in the new gallery menu tab, located alongside journal, shards, and tarot. The gallery pulls PNG images from the screenshots folder on your PC or from your console gallery. And they also released a support article for more details and for help. So moving right along, they added some more character customization options. They added 32 eye colors, 18 lip makeup types, 17 nail colors, 10 cheek makeup types, 16 eye makeup types, 4 face scars, 5 eyebrow shapes, 4 face tattoos, 2 body tattoos, and 8 cosmetic face cyberware options. They updated the character creator randomizer to feature a new plain to punk slider. Whether you're aiming for an understated, casual, or a bold, edgy style for V, you can now choose the slider to strike the perfect balance. And then they said they added more secrets to discover in Night City, which is really vague, but I'm going to keep it that way because I would like to discover those secrets myself. So the update 2.2 brought a ton of huge changes and fixes. changes. For the quests in open world, they rephrase objectives for quests that tell you to wait a specific amount of time to progress. The game is designed in a way that doesn't always allow players to simply skip in-game time to advance the objective, instead requiring them to continue playing to trigger the next event. Next up, Cyber Psycho sighting, where the bodies hit the floor. They fixed an issue where no shard could be found on the Cyber Psycho's body, blocking progress. For Dream On, the trauma team AV on the roof will now be properly hidden in stealth mode. For Heroes, they fixed an issue where the quest, despite being completed, could remain marked as incomplete in the journal with optional objectives. Talk to Padre or talk to the Valentinos. And then for the Phantom Liberty specific updates to the quest, the Balls to the Walls mission, they fixed an issue where it was impossible to exit the elevator and talk to Yuri because of an invisible wall. For Firestarter, they fixed an issue where fast travel could be blocked if the player saved after exiting Reed's car. For Gig waiting for the Dodger after being freed, Bill and Charles will now be more mindful of their driving and avoid running over Dodger's goons, preventing any unnecessary combat. Now for Hi-Ho Silver Lining, the VIP section in the Heavy Hearts Club will now be accessible to players who couldn't meet with Mr. Hands due to a keycard being required to use the elevator. For I've Seen That Face Before, the garage door preventing players from reaching the meeting point will now be open. For Run This Town, the elevator in the Heavy Hearts Club is now back in service, so V can finally meet with Mr. Hands. For Somewhat Damaged, fix an issue where the prompt to unplug the cables from the neural network system was missing. And finally, for these Phantom Liberty specific things, the Killing Moon, they fix an issue where the wall blocking the path when carrying Songbird to the shuttle. Now in terms of the gameplay fixes, they fixed one of the katana finisher animations so that it would properly decapitate enemies. The iconic Synapse Burnout and the iconic System Collapse quick hacks will now be properly affected by the RAM cost reduction buff. And then we have the icons for the Tier 5 and Tier 5++. Behavioral imprint synced faceplate will now be visible on the HUD while driving. They then fixed an issue causing the synaptic accelerator to stay active indefinitely if the player is detected while not in combat. The car horn will no longer honk when the player reloads a weapon during vehicle combat while playing with a controller. And then finally for gameplay, they fixed an issue where the NCPD could stop functioning properly after V engages in a shootout in Pacifica between the Voodoo Boys and the Trauma team. Now as for the miscellaneous updates, they fixed an issue where TV program was muted or too quiet. They fixed an issue where Crystal Coat did not apply properly after entering a vehicle. And due to popular demand, we've lowered the Trauma Drama high scores. They've adjusted V's mouth movement in various scenes, including the endings. And then they fixed ray tracing shadows for V in photo mode. Now in terms of PC specific updates, you will now be able to properly rebind W and S to different actions other than their default settings in the vehicle category. They've optimized threading system to improve performance by up to 33% on Intel Arrow Lake based CPUs. And then they added Razor Chroma effects for some sections in Phantom Liberty and romance scenes. Now one thing that this update doesn't do is provide PlayStation 5 Pro support, which was confirmed prior to the update going live, which that is one thing that I've seen amongst people that own the PS5. They were wondering whether or not this game would feature the PS5 Pro support, which like at this point I wouldn't rule it out. Like, let's be honest here. They gave us this 2.2 update, which was again unexpected, so it wouldn't surprise me if they release a PS5 Pro support in the future. Already the game runs amazing. Like, this is the best Cyberpunk has ever ran. One thing that I would love to see for PlayStation 5 Pro support in the future though is the ability to change the field of view. Now I know not many people own a PS5 Pro at this point, but if I were to have any hopes or wishes for Cyberpunk in the future, especially on the PS5 or the next consoles, is to get an FOV slider for the game. Playing the game on PC with controller with an FOV that's above 90 is just the definitive way to play Cyberpunk. But for the times where I'm just chilling on my couch console gaming, there are some circumstances that I would love to have an FOV slider. So if we end up getting a PS5 Pro patch in the future, CDPR, if you're listening to me, I know you've done so much and I appreciate you. Happy 4 years, by the way. Give us an FOV slider for console, please. We've seen you work magic. Try to work magic on this update as well. Unless it delays Project Orion, in that case, just don't listen to me. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up with this video. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe with your notifications turned on. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.